Introducing a powerful new ballistic missile capable of reaching as far as Moscow, Ukraine is close to addressing a long-standing military challenge. However, this capability doesn't tackle Ukraine's most immediate concern as Russia's extensive conflict in Ukraine enters its 33rd month. Ukraine's Hrim-2 missile is nearly operational, according to Yehor Chernev, head of Ukraine's NATO delegation. Concrete results will soon be visible, not only to Ukraine but to the Russian Federation as well, Chernev recently announced. The Hrim-2 is a single-stage, solid-fuel ballistic missile that can deliver a 1,100-pound warhead up to 310 miles, likely with inertial guidance. This marks a significant improvement over Ukraine's current top battlefield rocket, the 1970s-era Tochka. Developed over a decade by the Dnipro-based missile manufacturer KB Pivden, the Hrim-2 faced limited funding before Russia's invasion in February 2022. Once the war escalated, funding became more available, but frequent Russian strikes on Dnipro's industrial sites posed new challenges. Despite these obstacles, Ukrainian engineers completed and tested the first Hrim-2s, with President Volodymyr Zelensky announcing a successful test of this missile in August. The Hrim-2 will equip Ukraine with a formidable deep strike capability, freeing it from certain restrictions imposed by key allies. While the US, UK, and France have supplied Ukraine with long-range precision munitions, all three restrict their use against targets within Russia. This has led to a disparity in firepower. Each month, Russia bombards Ukrainian cities, bases, and factories with thousands of drones, as well as ballistic and cruise missiles. Ukraine's response is limited, relying mostly on lighter munitions like drones. Ukrainian officials, including Zelensky, have lobbied their Western counterparts to relax restrictions on deep strikes using foreign-supplied weapons, but with no success. With the Hrim-2, Ukraine no longer needs permission. The only limitation on strikes within Russia up to Moscow will be the missile's production rate. The question now is how quickly KB Pivden can produce Hrim-2s. As Hrim-2s are deployed, expect increased Ukrainian strikes on Russian targets. However, these attacks may not directly impact the front lines. Ukraine's biggest challenge remains a shortage of trained soldiers. Striking Russian airfields, factories, or oil refineries could disrupt Russian air operations, cut off supplies to Russian forces, and pressure the Russian economy. In retaliation for Russian attempts on Zelensky's life, President Vladimir Putin himself might even become a target. Still, the Hrim-2 cannot prevent Russian forces from overpowering outnumbered Ukrainian units on the front lines. As the conflict approaches its fourth year, Russia retains a significant manpower advantage, despite suffering around 1,500 casualties daily. Ukraine's losses are lower, but carry greater strategic weight. Russia's large population of over 140 million, combined with strict media control and minimal political opposition, allows the Kremlin to replenish its ranks, consistently recruiting around 30,000 soldiers monthly to offset recent record-high losses. Ukraine, on the other hand, is a democracy with a population of just 40 million and faces substantial political constraints. In April, after prolonged debate, Ukraine passed a modified mobilization law that has struggled to yield the 20,000 recruits needed each month to replace fatigued troops and form new brigades for potential offensives. Russia's steady progress along Ukraine's front lines in recent months reflects this disparity. Exhausted Ukrainian forces struggle to hold back the waves of Russian troops, now supplemented by thousands of North Korean reinforcements. While the ability to strike deep into Russia is strategically valuable for Ukraine and a significant blow to Russia's morale, it's unlikely to shift the overall balance of the war. The head of the Chechen Republic, Ramzan Kadyrov, said that he canceled the order to his soldiers from the Akhmat units not to capture Ukrainian servicemen. He cynically stated that the people of Ukraine asked him for this. Although this order was given by a Kremlin henchman, following the statements of Patriarch Kirill regarding the condemnation of brutality in the ranks of Putin's army. This was reported by the Institute for the Study of War. After the Ukrainian attack on the Russian Special Forces University in Gudermes, Chechnya, on October 29th, Kadyrov said that he had forbidden the so-called special forces from Akhmat to capture soldiers of the armed forces of Ukraine during the fighting against Ukraine. But already on November 2nd, he announced the cancellation of this order in response to the request of the Ukrainians. The Kremlin henchman claimed that the authorities of the Republic received more than 2,000 letters from the residents of Ukraine, which allegedly contained such requests. Letters of different content are written by both women whose loved ones are mobilized and men who are on the front line. However, the explanation of the request in each statement is the same. To surrender to Russian fighters is the only way to stay alive for those who sent to the trenches against their will, he claimed. Thus, Kadyrov once again used his statements to promote Russian information operations that undermine the sovereignty of Ukraine. The orders of the head of Chechnya once again demonstrate the culture of brutality that the Russian military command has perpetuated among its army, as well as Kadyrov's own reputation for brutality, the ISW responded. Analysts pointed out that he rescinded the order banning the taking of prisoners of war the day after Patriarch Kirill, head of the Kremlin-controlled Russian Orthodox Church of the Moscow Patriarchate on November 1st, condemned the growing culture of cruelty and inhumanity in the Russian army. As reported by obuz.ua, according to the Center of National Resistance of Ukraine, the head of Chechnya, Ramzan Kadyrov, intends to send 84,000 Chechens to the front against the Ukrainian forces. In Grozny, it was said that these mercenaries were recruited voluntarily, that is, not within the scope of mobilization. And Kadyrov's forces are taking TikTok to the next level. Alleged attempt to take down an FPV drone using an RPG-7, which is, by the way, anti-tank weapon.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.